plays pretty much across the board for Boot. Some UMPs, 3 UMPs in fact, coming out for Entity. And 2 Colts to supplement that too. So they do have a healthy assortment of some utility, but Ribby's the only one with a kit, so maybe that's going to cost them as the round draws out. And now they're going to go towards this B bomb site early on. Ace is the only one left, and now caught him out. Look at this concentration from Entity. They play 3 players towards this B bomb site early on. They try and take control of Banana. They've done a lot of damage. They haven't got any frags, but they've done so much damage to Boot. Look at Splashkey and Impression. They are bleeding internally.
Absolutely. Great damage coming out there by Entity Gaming onto the players trying to take Banana. And crucially, I mean, Boot haven't quite picked up on the way that Entity are holding this CT side. They are leaving A reasonably exposed early to shore up that B bomb site with that extra player. But Boot continue to try and contest Nana early. It hasn't worked out for them that well. As I say that, though, they are set up here towards this A bomb site. Ribby does find himself all alone on this site. Will have to come up big early. He has called in for that rotate, so it's just a matter of if Boot are able to make the play happen before Asta can get in there. The flash comes out. Asta finds 1. Isn't able to get the second, though. Tommy is there for that trade. Now it's all going to be on Ribby. Playing in that side position, he is going to sound out. Tommy does make that frag work. It's a lot of damage onto Benkai as well. So, obviously, now any player with any sort of serious HP is able to deal with Ribby onto that bomb side. So, it will be a 2v3 retake coming out from Entity. Crucially, though, low HP for Boot.
There's a gap in that smoke, too. So, Hunter does spot out. He could do this. I mean, effectively, be collected, but at the moment, the HP definitely favours the CT. Moxie holds strong, and it's all on Hunter. He can't do too much, and that is a much better finish to the half. You could see Boot were able to turn it around. 10-5 is sort of that par for the T side on Inferno, I dare say. Obviously, the map is a little bit more balanced than it used to be in terms of CT side, but I mean, 5 is the bare minimum, really. I wouldn't say it's par, actually, now thinking about that.
Well, I mean, no, if you get 5, I think you're relatively happy. Considering where Boot were, they had to get the last 3 rounds to find themselves on that 5 scoreline. The fact they were able to do that, they can hopefully take that momentum into the CT side. We did see them do that last map, and they didn't let Entity into the game at all. That being said, though, Asta wasn't on 27 for 9 at halftime of the last game.
Yeah,
so
big difference.
He is going mental on this map, and if he can keep that up and create the entries for Entity on this T side, then they definitely can close this out early. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on both these teams to secure this pistol round as Splashkey will spot out a player towards top of stairs. Gets a little bit of damage off onto Ace, but Entity Gaming looking like they want to take this bomb towards A early. That's prompted a rotation from the CT defenders as well, as they look to have a 4th player come over to support this A bomb site.
And they've pretty much almost immediately made that rotate towards A. And, well, actually, now they're going to back off as they do have Benkai smoked out. Going to be a pressure here on Impression in that arch as Benkai has used the guise of that smoke. Finds 1. Lets a few run past, but he's kept himself alive. Importantly, Benkai finds 2. Can he find the 3rd? No, they've ignored him promptly, and they're just going to run through here. It's all on Xcali, who's in the back of this site. 1 versus 4. He gets taken down, and that is a good retake there from Boot. They do concede the bomb plant, but not the round.
Yeah. I mean, that's, this is quite a clean pistol coming out from Boot as well. Benkai with a double kill there, and then an assortment of frags across Splashkey, Tommy and Impression. But, I mean, this is, similar sort of start to what we saw in Mirage, is when Boot came out on their pistol round and just straight away seemed well prepared for their CT side. I guess it's on Entity now to navigate their way through these ecos and then show us what they've got. This is their map pick, so I do expect to see them have more on their T side on Inferno than we saw on Mirage. But you definitely don't want to let Boot build up any kind of momentum because they will take it and run with it.
Building up momentum, building up utility. It's not what you want on come up against on CT or T side. Should I say, as Benkai takes that mistake and adventurous through that smoke. And again, they're just making things work. Benkai has picked up a double early on in the piece. And now he's looking for more frags. As Impression now, they're just running through. They're playing super aggressive here on the eco rounds. And there's the last frag there to Tommy. And they are definitely on the rise.
Yeah, look, gun round coming out here for Entity. So this is the moment. This is where we're going to see what they've got. They don't have the greatest array of utility across the Entity gaming boys, but there is enough smokes and flashes there to get some kind of side execute off. Meanwhile, though, BOOT-dS still opting to keep a couple of SMGs on this round. Just pushes down mid, takes care of Excali, and gets supported there by his teammates. Just like that, they've cleared Banana. They now know that the terrorists are towards second mid or towards T-spawn, which means it's going to cause a rotate straight out of that B bomb site.
And they've been completely locked out of mid. Been completely locked out of everything that they need to. And you can see that they are playing a player down. As Astar will leave Banana for the moment. That bomb is in the second mid. And heading towards A. So City's very much turtled up. And setting themselves up for what is going to be Entity just trying to get themselves into this bomb site. Very deep hold at the moment, but Entity are just going to try and work that bracket, get themselves in there. They're going to put pressure on this arch by the looks of things. That bomb is actually going to send itself through the arch too. They have a player deep in Speedway, so Benkai should be able to assist Splashky here once he spots one out. The crossfire is going to be utilised, and Benkai uses that Molotov quite well. He will get himself into the library here. Hunter does spot him out. He was there, but either way, they're going to make this work, and there is a lot of pressure here on Entity as they do get smashed hitting this bomb site. Ace, nowhere near the action. 11 seconds left. All he can do is try and get himself into a better hiding position. That bomb never even made it around the bomb site, and that has completely capitulated for Entity.
Absolutely. I mean, Entity Gaming there looked like they were waiting for Boot to give them an opportunity to win the round. At no point did Entity Gaming look like they had what they needed or what it takes to take that round and win it themselves. Yeah, they were sitting in top mid waiting for a CT to make a mistake, to overpeak or overcommit to something. Boot weren't giving them anything, and off the back of that, Entity weren't able to create those openings themselves. So if that's how Entity are going to approach their T side here, they are going to have a hard time. As we are going to see an attempted aggression up Banana. It's been thwarted with those Molotovs and grenades. Oh, quite a lot of damage going out there as well.
How does that Molotov kid?
Benkai from behind. Yep. There he is, gets his third. And yeah, this is actually getting scary now. Gen Boot will be on 10-10 off the back of next round. Obviously, Entity will have a pretty solid buy going into this round, but they're going to have to show us that they have what it takes, like I said, to actually crack these sites open and not rely on mistakes from Boot's CT hold. This
is where the PTSD kicks in. Obviously, we saw them on their T-side Mirage, and they didn't get around it. Obviously, that sits in recent memory as they will to get themselves across mid. Look at the aggression coming out. Benkai and Tommy, they're making it work. And look at Benkai just taking those duels, not really caring. And I mean, we're 20 seconds into the round. 15 seconds out of spawn. And it's down to a 2 versus 4 already. That aggression from second mid. Super aggressive. And it's paid dividends for them. Ace sitting here. Banana gets caught off guard. And it's all on Excali. We'll find one. And it's making it in the second. And that will be him going down. And there it is, 10-10. This is where it starts to get really scary.
Yeah, look at that economy on Boot. I mean, they're rolling in the money. Obviously, Tommy had to buy back in there. But still, 2 players on 10k plus with 1 player on 9.5. So, I mean...
They're rolling deep.
Yeah, they're rolling deep.
Deeper than Adele.
Meanwhile, though, Entity are going to be going into this round with CZs and a little bit of utility. They're looking to try and exploit B again. But those Molotovs and those HEs are going to really slow things down as Impression is able to find 2. And Hunter actually gets a team kill in there. Splashman, this is the point blank. Will be supported though by Benkai there, so he gets away with it. This Benkai gets himself a double, and Boot now take the lead in this match. And on that CT side, really don't look that too phased at the moment, too troubled. Meanwhile, there's still a couple of players on Entity Gaming that haven't broken into double-digit frags. And when you've got a player in your team in the form of Asta, who's already on 27, I mean, it's too much disparity between the performances there on Entity Gaming. That being said, though, they will buy into this with full AKs, full utility, and what will be one of their best opportunities so far this half to try and crack open this BOOT-dS defense. They are opting to send 3 players towards second mid, so a little bit more asymmetric this round, not the straight-up push B. But it's on them now to try and create these entry frags.
And they will try. As Entity give themselves... Well, they're trying to get themselves some map territory. They do go through second mid. They will send through carpets. They will get control of that. Asta and Ruby spam to the top of the boost above Diggity. Will not pay any dividends for the moment. But Boot have got themselves towards A. 3 members sitting there, and that smoke is specifically designed as he picks up the frag. He will take a second as well through that smoke. Just picking in the brackets unopposed. There is no reply coming out either, so that bomb has yet to make its way towards this A bomb site. They have a single player holding things down, and that allows them to actually get the information they need to keep players at B. Now, Ribby has found 2, or 1, sorry, and Asta is able to find a second, but that is it. Tommy cleans up at the pit, and that is it. Boot now, again, have gone onto their CT side and have... Well, they've had a little trouble. Let's just say that. They've brought it back. 7 unanswered rounds.
Yeah, this is an exact replica of Mirage. And I guess it sends a message out to the other teams in the competition as well. Boot are no joke on their CT sides.
They definitely are not. CT sides are where their biggest strengths have been thus far. And we can see Entity trying a different approach here, going more heavily through second mid. They've tried to contest Banana with little to no success at all. I mean, nothing they've done really has had any form of success, but they are going to play towards this... right now, Flash is going to come in at second mid. They actually got a decent crossfire here. The only worry is that maybe Tommy is sitting at quad by himself, but look at those players just lining up in carpet. Tommy should be able to find one here as well. Does spot one out, spots out the arm. And clean up, all be cleaned up. Tommy up on third. And Ribby now will go down as well. That is Boot cleaning up, and they are well in the ascendancy. We will have a gun round coming out from Entity, but again, look at that money built up from Boot. They're not really troubled at all. They're not losing numbers. These rounds aren't really troubling them. The numbers are not thinning out either. How many are surviving?
Benkai as well has worked his way up to 23 frags. I'm pretty sure he didn't have many at the half.
No. These rounds aren't even close.
He's gone ballistic on the CT side, much like last map as well. So Entity Gaming in a lot of trouble here. They do bring out that AWP on Hunter, and that has been quite crucial to them in the way that they've approached these rounds. It's just a matter of trying to find these openings as Molotov useful, puts the CTs back a bit. She still manages to get that flag work. Entity Gaming on that back foot early again, Jim.
Yeah. They're losing numbers early on in the piece, and I looked through those rounds that they lost. The most that they'd lost in a round, Boot, was actually 3. That's why their economy is so healthy. It's never really gone down to anything significant in terms of 1 versus 1 play or anything like that. It's basically just been Boot literally stomping their opposition. And they're going to try their luck here at the A bomb site. And they have managed to find 1 pick. It's back to 4 versus 4. That Molotov will push Tommy to the back wall of the pit. But they still need to dismantle this crossfire here. It's good from Boot. They are susceptible to flashes. Benkai. Oh, he's sitting up at the graveyard, and he is literally writing their tombstones.
I mean, that 4v4 into a 4v nothing, as they were just unable to take the site there. They're too slow in the way that they're approaching these sites. By the time they go to push in, they're not necessarily dealing with just 3 defenders on this A-bomb side or whatever it might be. They're often dealing with that rotation that's come in as well. So Entity Gaming really need to change up what they're doing here. I mean, even just a fast mid-push where it's not just taking top mid, but actually taking control of Diggity or Archers early, capitalising on the fact that they're sending 3 players towards B. But it's not to be the case. They are going to go with a slow sort of spread on this round again and see if they can feel their way into a couple of entry frags before taking these sites. Boot, though, once again, being relatively passive. Splashky, though, is going to go for this pick here. Does need to be careful. That flash is good. But he's got all the confidence in the world at the moment. Knocking him down to 25 HP, and he actually gets shot a little bit as well, so lucky to get away there with his life. Impression, though, in an interesting position at sandbags. I'm not sure they're going to think that he's there. Not that it matters, though. They are falling back now and seem to be making their way back towards A. Asta, with that top mid control, is going to try find an entry here towards A, you'd imagine. Otherwise, they're just going to sit top mid again and...
Asta's been their shining light. They're going to look to him to try and open this up. So he's going to be the man in charge of trying to get them back into this. But they've made that call to go back towards B. And Impression here is unsupported for the moment. And
this is a good call, Jim. I mean, the damage that was done onto Splashky as well. And if they can take care of Impression just like they have, they now have Splashky with that AWP isolated in the back of the site. He's already very low. Does get the first frag, though. Unable to land the second shot. Will be looking for a second kill. Unable to make that work as Ace will put an end to his B-side holds. But this pincer from Banana and from CT is coming in, and they're already in position. Now, Tommy has been spotted out towards Banana here. Does need to make this frag work, and he's going to. So it's going to be a 3v3 situation now. Excali will go down to Benkai, so it's going to be a 2v3 post plan for Entity Gaming. And Molotov will force Ace out of position. The trade comes in by Roxy. Hunter, though, with that UMP, is going to have to come up big for his team, and he will. Entity Gaming on the board on their T side. Could this be what they needed?
Saving match point there. Hunter, that UMP. I mean, not that it really is of huge consequence. Tommy had 16k. He's been able to drop a teammate. Benkai still got 16k. He's just going to be able to get himself whatever he wants, whatever you like. And Entity. They survive another round. They get an AWP on Asta. Oh, doesn't hit that shot at top mid though. But again, early concentration, pushing through. This is that aggression we saw from them as Benkai finds a second. And
spots a third as well.
He has the info. He has maintained the player advantage as well. And safely gets himself away.
It's actually very unfortunate. I did mention that Entity were setting themselves up and trying to, I guess, catch Boot being over-aggressive or making mistakes. Boot weren't giving him anything. And then Boot go into these rounds like we saw just then where they go all out. They just go flat stick in the way that they peak, and just so happened Entity wasn't ready for it that round, and they've paid the price there. They do find that frag on a Tommy, but do find themselves in the 3v4 situation. So numbers favouring Boot here on this A-side defence as Entity do look to make their way. Diggity. But they're going to have to deal with Benkai and Pitt here, and he's been going massive on this CT side.
Yeah, and he's still up as well, so he's just buying time. Flash there. Nice little flash from...
Spots bomb too.
Yep. From him. Moxie gets the crossfire there. That mouse sports flash. Doing a great deal of damage. That brings that match point. Now, Entity, I know they bucked the trend. I know they've got a T-side round. But look at their money. That's reset them.
Yeah, look. I mean, they got one more T-side round than they did last map.
So one T-side round in 2 maps.
Yeah. That's not a good stat. That's not a stat you want to relive. The opposite of that is Boot, dropping only one CT side of round in 2 maps. So
they're kicking along nicely.
Great stat. Great stat. As Entity Gaming look to spread themselves out across the map here, they're going to try and create these picks again, this time with pistols as Hunter takes a 39 damage HE grenade there. Splashky awfully close to doing some damage through that wall. Excali must be feeling a little nervous. Interesting interesting flick coming in there. Moxie does open things up on the Ribby, so it will be a 4v5 situation now for Entity Gaming as they are going to try and win. Ace now finds himself all alone, 1v5 situation with the bomb.
And he's got a CZ to boot, so that's all he's got. That's all he's going to have, and is he going to run to his boot? He will, and that will be 16-11, and that will be Boot going through to the next stage of play. Entity, that will be the end of their run. So, great performance from Astar. Unfortunately, it was in vain, and, well, his team will be eliminated, so he can at least hold his